It's hard to believe we're heading back to school already, but that doesn't mean we still can't steal away to enjoy the last sips of summer. Today's first stop is the beautiful Gaylord Opryland Resort. Whether you're a local like me or considering an out-of-town getaway, I'm showing you some new menu items at one of their most popular restaurants, plus giving you the recipe so you can try it at home too. Then we'll continue the fun with one of my favorite friends and best-selling authors, Annie F. Downs. Her unique blend of whimsy and candor comes alive like never before in her newest book, and she's here to talk about it all. Finally, you know I can't let you go without sharing some of my best deals and shopping tips for this back-to-school season, regardless of whether you have kids at home or not. So get ready to embrace today and share the love, because this is the Sami Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sami Cone Show, sponsored by Soundwaves at Gaylord Opryland.
If you haven't considered Gaylord Opryland as a dining location in a while, then you are missing out. Let me introduce you to one of my new favorite bites.
During Gaylord Opryland's Summer of More, guests can look forward to aquatic fun at Soundwaves, a variety of pirate and princess-themed activities, exceptional dining experiences, luxurious spa treatments, and much more.
There are so many incredible places to eat all under one roof here at Gaylord Opryland. In fact, I've even written a blog post with my top picks. But for those of us that visit the resort regularly, one place consistently rises to the top. Jack Daniel's Restaurant and Bar has not only updated their menu recently, I'm going to be sharing the recipe for one of their most popular and trendy appetizers with you today. Let's get grilling. We're just outside Jack Daniel's Restaurant and Bar to make their new appetizer, corn ribs. Yes, you heard me right, corn ribs. Right, Chef Michael Coyle?
Absolutely, yeah. So a great play on your classical meat ribs, pork or beef ribs. But this is vegetarian, right?
Yeah, my daughter's a vegetarian, and sometimes we shy away from barbecue because of that. So I'm excited to see what the whole family can do. Okay, let's get started on the recipe.
Yeah, when you're quartering this corn, you're going to want to boil it after you've shucked it for about 5 to 10 minutes. So what Dante's going to do for us, he's going to drop some of these corn that we have cut up in the fryer.
So if someone doesn't have a fryer at home, they can just use a cast iron skillet with some oil? Any kind of oil?
Yeah, that would take about 90 seconds.
Okay, so not too long.
Not too long at all, yeah. Especially since you've already cooked it.
Cool. What are you making now?
So we're going to make a smoked barbecue aioli. And we're going to start with a little bit of mayo.
Okay.
Smoked paprika. This is a mixture of garlic and shallots that we smoke. What we do is we toss it in some brown sugar. We smoke it for hours until it becomes mush. And then we puree it. And we use this mixture in a lot of different sauces, dressings, rubs. It just acts as a really nice base for a lot of flavors in what we're doing in the restaurant.
Yeah, and I like the technical chef term, mush.
Yes,
right?
mush.
That's what we, okay, good, I like it. What did you just put in there?
A little bit of water just to thin it out.
Okay.
Some lemon juice.
Okay.
And then this is our house barbecue seasoning.
Okay.
You can use any barbecue rub that you want. So it looks like Dante's finished up on his ribs, and you can see how they've curled up just like ribs. Yeah. So now he's taken that same barbecue rub that we've got in here, and he's just sprinkling it on there.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this from Dante, and we're going to put this plate together just like we would in our restaurant.
Okay.
So we're just going to take some of this aioli, and we're going to put it right on the bottom here.
It's so pretty.
So then we're just going to finish it with a little bit of cotija cheese. A little bit of green onions on top.
It's gorgeous.
And that'll be your corn ribs right here at Jack Daniel's.
Well, we have the appetizer, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to open this grill behind me to see what else you offer here at Jack Daniel's. There's a lot of myths out there. How important is it to preheat your grill before putting anything on it?
Well, it's probably one of the most important steps, really.
Good to know.
So, a cold grill is your enemy.
Okay.
You want a hot grill, so give it time to get hot. It prevents sticking, and always remember when you're cooking, color is flavor.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to steam your meat, you want to sear it. Are you ready?
Yeah, what are your favorite meats and what do we have inside here?
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
So in here we've got our brisket that we've been smoking this morning. We've got a pork butt in here as well. And then this is our cheddar jalapeno sausage. We smoke all of these right here on property.
In-house?
In-house, yes.
Wow.
We don't import or buy any of this product. We're really partnering with a lot of the local farms and produce farms, cattle ranches here in Tennessee actually incorporating that into our menu. So,
And what kind of wood? I see some of the wood down there. What kind of wood are you using?
so we've
to
got some
smoke?
oak wood. It's really up to you what kind of wood you like to use.
What are some of your favorite recipes that are also new on the menu at Jack Daniel's?
Oh, we've got some really awesome items. So we're doing some fried green tomatoes, which is also a nice little Southern classic. We've got a version of like a piggy mac and cheese. So we've
Okay.
got this house-made mac and cheese. You can put some pork, you can put some brisket on there, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, collard greens, a white creamy pepper gravy. It doesn't get much better than that, right?
Right. I feel like I would be a bad host if I didn't ask if we could taste some of this. So I could just
Yes.
get my honest review. Is
Absolutely.
that okay?
So we just pulled our sausage off the grill.
Okay.
So we've been smoking these for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Some baked beans, because who doesn't love some good Southern
Absolutely.
barbecue baked beans? And then we have our corn from earlier, right? And
Yes.
you can use this as a side as well.
Okay.
So we can put a few pieces of our corn on here.
Delicious.
And then corn muffins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are cheddar jalapeno corn muffins. We make these right here every day.
All right, I have to try some of this corn. This is what you dream of in summer. I'm taking this with me. You can enjoy Jack Daniel's and all of the other restaurants at the hotel during their Summer of More or anytime when you visit Gaylord Opryland Resort here in Nashville. Learn more at gaylordopryland.com. This is delicious. Yeah, you should be proud. It's good. Good talk. Good talk. If you're looking to smile, look no further than my next guest. I'm so happy to have New York Times bestselling author Annie F. Downs. How are you, Annie?
Hi, Sammy. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm really glad to have you. I mean, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about personally. You just finished a month-long sabbatical, or a Sabbath, I guess is probably a better way to put it. Before we kind of get into some of the new things you have on tap, can you just tell us like how that was and what led you to doing that?
You know, in January, we decided as a company that we all were going to take a break together in the summer. It is normal for people to take weeks off and time off in the summer, but what happens when 2 people are gone and 3 people are there is everybody builds lists for everyone else. And I just was not interested in us building lists for each other. And so we said from the beginning of the year, hey, we're all going to take these days together so that we are all resting, so that all of our brains are kind of off. And I was gone a little bit longer than everybody else. So everybody else came back last week. I came back this week. It was great. My prayer going into it, my hope going into it was I didn't need big revelations from God. I didn't need these big experiences. I needed sleep and slow days. And so even as I was coming out of my days off, I was reflecting and going, hey, God, I don't know if I have these big revelations. And then I went, this is why I journal. I went back and looked at what I actually had written down for what I hoped for. And I was like, oh, well, we did that. We did that. Okay. So I got to do some really fun things, got to see some family. I mean, just like with everything, Sammy, there were some beautiful, restful days, and there were some really sad and hard days. Our family's going through some things, and the beauty of having days off of work is I get to go be with my family and help us process some things. And so it was everything. It was one of those, and I got COVID, and so you also get sick for a couple of days, and it was just everything. It was everything. It was a cornucopia.
That's when you raise your hands up, right? Like, whatever, Lord.
All right, God, fine. I see you.
Okay, so I have to ask, if I was to do that, I feel like it would take me at least a week to train myself not to check email,
Yes.
not to pull out the calendar. How long did it take you to not do the things you were trying not to do? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. I allowed myself to keep Instagram on my phone for about 5 days after my last work day. So
Okay.
I finished up the work week and then I still had Instagram on my phone for about 5 days. And then I took it off and have yet to really jump back in. You know, the interesting thing when you leave a thing that you probably have too much relationship with, when you leave a thing that probably isn't the healthiest relationship, you aren't in a hurry to get back to it. And so I've
I
been
feel like
away
you're
for a
talking
month.
about more than social media just
Yeah,
there too. Just
maybe.
putting it out there.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably the same about Oreos, but I do realize that I mean, I think a good revelation for me was that I don't miss social media as much as I thought I would. I missed some of the relationships, but also my life got very close and quiet and private. And I could reach everyone that I could reach with my phone numbers.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
there was something about it, Sammy, that I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we live in both worlds? I don't know.
That
how
was
to
my
do that.
next, well, that was my next question. I don't expect you to have a good answer, but raising teenagers, especially, and as someone like you
Right.
and I, that this is part of our work, you can't
Right.
completely. So
Can't.
where is that? Where is that balance? Are you finding yourself do a weekly check, a day, an hourly
Yeah. Yeah.
check?
So
You know,
what I've
where's that? Because you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as
right.
they say, but it does become all consuming. And sometimes you don't realize that until, I take my teen's phone away for the day or until we do a self-imposed Sabbath.
That's right. So for part of, I'm figuring it out. And I think that's one of the things. I mean, I talk about this in Chase the Fun, and in That Sounds Fun, of like the joys of being an amateur. And part of that is allowing yourself to learn and adjust and change. So I'm not making myself start this fall with, I've got all my rules in place of how I'm going to do this. I'm going, okay, I'm noticing how peaceful I feel. And I'm noticing how connected to my community I feel. How do I bring back a part of my job that I do really love? I mean, I love the connection of social media. Some of my dearest friends live around the world and I see their lives on Instagram. And so I think, and I'll tell you the other thing, Sammy, that I'm really processing. I'd be interested in your thoughts too. When it comes to our own lives or our teenagers' lives, is I want to be in places on social media that bear good fruit. It doesn't mean all the fruit has to be good, but I want to be in places where I'm going, this is making people's lives better. And I do not see that on Twitter. And I do see that on Instagram. So I'm like, I'm done with Twitter. It doesn't bear good fruit. And so I don't want to be places that don't bear good fruit. So that's easy for me because I'm an all or nothing girl. So nothing is fine.
And for me, that's TikTok because
Right.
I love to dance. I love a good DIY, but I don't have time for it all. And I know where I can't get sucked into. So for me, I know I have to be on social media. I can't be on all social media. I'm not a Pinterest girl. I'm not, so I agree. I think let's not be everywhere to everyone and then not really be good for anyone.
That's it.
So
that's exactly right. So that's what I'm processing too. Like that's my amateur learning is how do I figure out how to do the parts that I feel like bring life and that I'm gifted at and that bear good fruit, and how do I have boundaries around it too? Because even actual farmers don't tend their gardens or their fruit trees 24/7. And so I don't have to do that either with where I'm growing good fruit. And so how do we figure that out? That's what I'm figuring out. I mean, I live alone, so I'm doing some boundaries of like, I don't check my phone before a certain time. I don't check my phone after a certain time. So I have some of those boundaries, but I'm still figuring out what does it look like in the work day when I could be on a lot.
That's good. Hey, you alluded to your new book. Will you stick around? Can we talk a little bit more about
Chase the Fun?
Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Annie F. Downs.
You're joining us in the middle of an amazing conversation with a New York Times bestselling author, podcaster, friend, Annie F. Downs. Annie, you have a new book coming out called Chase the Fun. Now, I just alluded to your bestselling book.
Yes, can you
That is
believe
the
that?
same name as your podcast. That sounds fun. So now is it safe to say this is a companion devotional to that?
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. Here's my problem, Sammy. You think I'd have learned this already, but I didn't. When I wrote the Let's All Be Brave, after
Yeah.
people read it, they said, how do I actually do this? And I thought, of course. So I wrote 100 Days to Brave. And so those books really go hand in hand. One is the why and one is the how. And then I accidentally did it again with That Sounds Fun, where I wrote the why book about like, why does fun matter? And what does it look like? And how is it a spiritual thing? How is it a really important part of a healthy life? And then everybody was like, okay, how?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you said something in our first segment about being an amateur. And,
Right.
you know, there's something that we abandon in childhood, not even just abandon, but maybe shun or look down on as adults are like, no, you can't have fun. How are you bringing that back and why is it okay?
And that's the thing, right? Is it for starters, when you're a kid, we tell kids to try new things all the time, new vegetables. We're saying, eat this, at least give it a chance. Or we say, go try that new sport. Or yes, go talk to that friend you've never met before. I just heard Reese Witherspoon do an interview where her very best friend was a girl right now, is a girl who lived across the hall from her in their apartment. And her mom said, go knock on her door. She looks to be about your age, right? Like we encourage people to do new things all the time. But when it's us and we're grownups, well, I don't know if that person will like what I think. So I don't know if I should introduce myself. Or what if I get hurt if I try this sport? Or I had Brussels sprouts before and I didn't like them. I don't want to try this new recipe.
Yeah.
When
Or the perfectionist in us takes over.
Right. And as we've already talked about social media, it can be really scary to be an amateur in a conversation publicly, right? And
absolutely.
we expect everyone to learn at the speed of the internet and grow at the speed of the internet instead of learning at the speed of learning. And so what the permission we get to give ourselves and each other, and we talk about this in Chase the Fun, is this idea of like, go after being an amateur and be okay if you're not great at something. Remember when you were a kid and people said, try things. It wasn't because we wanted people to fail. I don't say that to my friends' kids because I want them to hate what they're eating. It's because I want them to get on a path of a new experience. It's why we travel too, right? It's to see new places.
Yeah, and I was just talking to a friend yesterday. Their child's starting a new junior high, and she's like, where they were going wasn't bad. There just weren't enough offerings. I'm so afraid of her getting to college without having tried things. And I think you don't have to stick with it for years, but just put yourself out there.
That's right. And what we've learned in the last couple of years is that people didn't realize that they were escaping from their lives. They thought they were going on vacation and doing all these things. And then 2020 shuts us all down. And suddenly mental health conversations are on the rise, and realizing like my life isn't exactly what I want is on the rise. And what I am hearing people say, because I get to talk about fun all the time, is like, okay, you mean there's something I can pursue that will actually help me not escape, but enjoy. And so that's what we're doing in Chase the Fun is like, okay, for 100 days, let's sit and talk about this with good quotes and great scripture, and really how this is a spiritual thing, how this is a health thing, how this is part of you becoming who you really want to be. And let's see if that will actually give you the life you've been longing for. What if it's just chasing fun that will give you the life you've been waiting for?
Annie, I can't wait to get this in my hands. I want everyone to check out not only That Sounds Fun, but now Annie's newest book, Chase the Fun, 100-day devotional. Annie, thank you so much for being with us. It's always fun with you, my friend.
I love you, friend. Thanks for having me on.
Love you. Bye. Think you missed out on all of the back to school deals? Think again. Even if you don't have school-age children at home, I'm here to give you all of my best shopping tips and tricks so that you can save big on everything you need to get this time of year. Now look, even if you don't have kids at home, who doesn't need a little extra paper or even an extra Sharpie? I mean, let's face it, we all do. So let me tell you how to still snag deals even though those tax-free weekends are behind us. First of all, I want you to start shopping some unexpected places. So what do I mean by that? Well, think about buying your school supplies at the grocery store. I know, who knew, right? But look at this table. Everything I got here was from Publix, and it was buy one, get one free. That's right. And because of our Publixes here in Tennessee, that doesn't mean you have to buy two. You can buy one item and get it at half off. So I needed 2 notebooks for my son, but I only needed 1 pack of filler paper. And even if you don't need these for your home, just think about donating them to a classroom or a teacher because they would so appreciate the help this time of year. Another great tip, if you do have kids going back to school, is to ask teachers if you can space out sending your supplies in. So maybe don't send in 4 packs of pencils right now or all those Ziploc bags and cleaning wipes. Ask if you can do it in the second semester as well, and that'll help you stretch out your budget a little bit. Another great tip is to shop online. Now with our options today, if you need it quickly, you can always shop online and pick up in store, but you can also shop through a cashback site like Rakuten, and that just means you're going to start at a different place and then you're going to go and keep shopping as normal, but you're going to get cash back. I've literally saved thousands of dollars doing this. And again, you can pick up in store if you need it quickly, but you also want to add on those browser extensions onto Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever you're using, and it'll tell you if you can find a cheaper deal somewhere else. So if you're on Amazon, it might say, hey, there's a better deal at Office Max. But take the total cost into consideration. So look, is there free shipping? Is there free returns? And if you don't already have a subscription to some of those sites, you can actually get free trials at a lot of those. Or for instance, I get Walmart Plus through my phone provider, or Sam's Club is offering a deal where even though it costs $45 to get a membership, you get a $45 shop card in return. So it really evens the playing field out, and then you have some time to see, is this really of value to me? Speaking of value, look for added value, not just in terms of free shipping and free returns, but also things like lifetime guarantees, or is there a bonus when you shop online versus in store? Sometimes you'll get a free gift, an extended warranty package, or sometimes it's just the convenience of being able to try things on at home in your own time. I know stores don't always carry the variety of colors and sizes you want. So for instance, when Old Navy is having their jeans sale, I'll order a bunch of different sizes, try them on at home, and I'll get that free shipping, but then I can also return it and see that refund get to me quicker. So those are just a few of my favorite tips. If you want more, you can always go to SamiCone.com. I've got a full list of all the deals I've just mentioned, all the tips I've just mentioned, as well as ways to keep you saving throughout the year. I hope you'll visit me there. Before I go, I need you to know your words matter. We've all heard the childhood chant, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But I'd say that's a lie. Our words do matter. They can hurt badly, or they can give life and breath when we most need it. In fact, the Bible is filled with verses about the power of our words. Proverbs 15:4 in the Message tells us that kind words heal and help, cutting words wound and maim. As a writer and TV host, I'm a word girl, but that doesn't mean I always get it right. As a parent, I often wonder if my words land correctly with my kids or even matter at all. But just before my daughter left for college, she gave me one of the best gifts for my birthday, 47 things she loves about me. You already know I could barely look at her slideshow presentation through the tears, but the one thing I did take away was this: our words matter, and they are heard. Now, that doesn't mean our loved ones will always listen to us in the moment, but there is a storehouse being built up in their minds and in their hearts. What legacy are you building with your words? If it's not the message you hope to send, start rewriting the script today. I loved introducing you to some of my favorite people and places in today's show. I always learn something new when I'm with you, and I pray you do too. I hope you have a great day. Make sure you make it great, and do not wait to tell someone you love how you feel about them. Bye, friends.